न भूमिर्न तोयं न तेजो न वायुः न खं नेन्द्रियं वा न तेषां समूहः अनैकान्तिकत्वात् सुषुप्त्येकसिद्धः तदेको वशिष्ठः शिवः केवलोऽहम् तदेको वशिष्ठः शिवः केवलोऽहम्
यस्यैव स्फुरणं सदात्मकम् असत्कल्पार्थकं भासते साक्षात् तत्त्वमसीति वेदवचसा यो बोधयत्याश्रितान् यत्साक्षात्करणात् भवेन्न पुनरावृत्तिर्भवाम्भोनिधौ तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये श्रुत्यर्थगोचरं वन्दे वाच्यार्थानामगोचरं लक्ष्यार्थवपुषं वन्दे शङ्करं देशिकं कुरु सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् अपारसच्चित्सुखवारिराशेः यस्योर्मिमात्रं भुवनं समस्तं गुहाहितं तं रमणं गभीरं चिन्ताविहीनं हृदि चिन्तयामि देहं मृण्मयवज्जडात्मकमहं बुद्धिर्न तस्यास्त्यतो नाहं तत्तदभावसुप्तिसमये सिद्धात्मसद्भावतः कोऽहं भावयुतः कुतो वरधिया दृष्ट्वात्मनिष्ठात्मनां सोऽहं स्फूर्तितया अरुणाचलशिवः पूर्णो विभाति स्वयं यस्माज्जातं जगत्सर्वं यस्मिन्नेव प्रलीयते येनेदं धार्यते चैव तस्मै ज्ञानात्मने नमः। So in our Chaturmasya Kala Swadhyaya Yajna we are listening to the story of Sankaracharya. Formerly we thought about finishing it very soon, but now I think it is more than how many days now? 20 days. Oh. So yesterday we saw that Bhagavad-pada wrote Dakshinamurti-Stotram. Dakshinamurti means the form of Jnanam. Dakshina, that very word means Dakshina Shemushi Prokta. Dakshina means Jnanam. Dakshina Amurti is not a Murti. That is why in Dakshinamurti-Stotram there is no form. But if you want a form, that Shiva as Dakshinamurti is a very sattvic form to meditate, especially for those who have chosen the path of Jnanam. There is another very beautiful verse of Dakshinamurti ascribed to Sankaracharya, at Dakshinamurti-Stava. There Bhagavad-pada says, Upasakanam yad upasaniyam upattavasam vatashakhi mule tadhama dakshinya jusha swamurtya jagartu chitte mama bodha rupam. That is the best form for the upasakas, the meditators, for meditating. Upasakanam yad upasaniyam. What is that? Upattavasam vatashakhi mule. Underneath the vatavriksha, the banyan tree or people tree, what will they call? Is it so vatashakhi mule. Jagartu chitte mama bodha rupam. Let that form of Dakshinamurti awaken within me, wake up within me as pure consciousness, bodha rupam. And with his chin mudra he is giving the upadesha Tattvamasi iti bodham. He is giving the awareness of Tattvamasi. You are that. You are not the body, you are not the mind, you are not the intellect. You are what? Bhagavad-pada very often says that Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swabhavam Brahma. That which is eternal, that which is ever pure, that which is ever awakened, that which is eternally free. That is the very nature of Brahman. So what you experience within you as the I, the Jiva, which is always revealing itself as I. Swatmanam prakati karoti. People say that Atma or one's real nature is veiled, covered by avarana. No avarana can cover it. We say cloud has covered the sun. Cloud cannot cover the sun. Even the cloud is visible because of sunlight. So your very ignorance, your affirmation of ignorance is an assertion of your realization, your knowledge. I do not know. Who is this I? Who says I do not know? And that very I is the mudra of Dakshinamurti. It is Brahman. It is the Atma. It is the Shuddha Chaitanya Swarupa, which is ever shining within as Aham Aham. So directly, so immediately shining within, it is visible through the eyes, it is visible through the ears. The eyes are able to see because of that, the ears are able to hear because of that, the nose is able to smell because of that, the tongue is able to taste because of that, the skin is able to touch and feel because of that. Devoid of that, the body becomes dead body. Yasya sannidhi matrena dehendriya manodhiyaha vishayeshu swakiyeshu vartante prerita iva. And Sankaracharya gives a beautiful example that you have a pot with so many holes and keep a lamp inside it. Like that. Nana Chidra Ghadodara Sthita Deepa Prabha Bhaswaram. The same lamp, one lamp, and the light comes through all the holes. Like that, the same Atma, the same Swarupa, which enlivens the body, by whose presence the eyes are able to see, by whose presence the ears are able to hear. That existence, that I, because of which I say, I know the world, I know everything, Janami. And that is the form of Dakshinamurti. Without knowing that, people think I am the body. Deham. Most of the people consider themselves as the body. Then what? Pranan. Pranaha. Deham pranam. Api indriyani. Api chalam buddhim. Cha shunyam viduhu. First, mostly people think I am the body. The body is me. So keep the body well, I can be happy. And people try that. Even very healthy, that doesn't mean the person is happy. That is only one aspect of happiness. We are not denying that, but that is only one aspect. Then you go deeper, the energy plane, the prana. There also the person is not able to find fulfillment, because it also comes and goes. Then the senses. Senses are not these eyes, ears, etc. They are only outer holes. Inwardly, in the mind, all the senses are alive there. Without the eyes, you are able to see in the mind. Without the ears, you are able to hear. Without the skin, you are able to touch. So, the senses, subtle form of senses are all within. So, you transcend that also. And the mind, then the buddhi, the intellect, discriminating power. Then when you deny everything, there is a chance that you will end up in a void. In meditation also people have such a state. Sometimes this void manifests in various forms. It might not be philosophical. Philosophically, the void, shunyata. In Buddhism, Nagarjuna is the master of that. He says shunyata, shunyata. Everything is shunya, nothing, nothing, nothing. But you might directly encounter that shunyata, or sometimes you do some bhakti sadhana, some yoga sadhana, a particular stage comes where you feel dry, where you feel nothing exists. No bhakti, no meditation, no japa, no interest in anything, a kind of desert state. In such states, you need good guides. A good guide who can tell you, wait. You will transcend that state also. Again, you will touch the cool spring of peace within. So, shunyata also you deny. Then what is it? Is there any, if it is not shunya, is it with name and form and objects, everything? No. Na ashunyam. Na shunyam, na ashunyam. Then what? It is inseparable from my very being. Na shunyam, na ashunyam. Advaitakatvat katham sarva vedanta siddham bravimi. It is neither shunyam na ashunyam. It is advaita. It is non-separable from my real nature. It is nothing other than my very being. Katham Sarva Vedanta Siddham Bravimi, which all the Vedanta Shastras, that is what Bhagavan also said, Vedantate Veru Ara Vilangum Veda Purul. The implied essence of the Vedas shine forth in the Vedanta Shastra, that is in you. When all knowledge comes to an end, there is no knowing through the senses, no knowing through the mind, no knowing through the intellect, no non-knowing also. Then you come and touch that very essence of knowledge, awareness, effulgence, existence. I Satvabhasika Chitkvavetara Sattayahi Chit Chittayahi Aham. That which is Sat Chit Aham. In your very being, in your heart. Without recognizing that, people think that Bala Stri Balandha Jadopamastu Ahamiti Bhranta Brisham Vadinaha Maya Shakti Vilasa Kalpita Maha Vyamoha Samharine Tasmai Shri Gurumurtaye Namaidam Shri Dakshinamurti. The power of Maya, although you have everything, the teaching is given, the Upanishads, Prakarana, Granthas and great sages have again and again come and given you the teaching. Again, we are experts in getting hallucinated, in delusion. What they call delit. Lit by delusion. So ready to get deluded. Moha. Not ready to recognize the truth. The intellect is being covered as if covered by the Rahu. Rahu is the imaginary planet actually which covers this. What they poetically they express. It's a Kavikalpana. During the Grahana Samaya, during the time of Grahana, they say the Rahu is covering sun. Rahugrasta Divakarendu Sadrishaha Maya Samachhadanat Sanmatrah Karunopa Samharanato Yo Bhut Sushuptah Puman. While in Sushupti, in deep sleep, everyone is experiencing one's own existence as Sukhaswarupa. And yet, when they wake up, they don't recognize. Every day they enter that state and come out without recognition. So, that recognition comes when you listen to Vedanta Shastra and listen to Mahavakya Tattvamasi. That is you, it is your very nature. That existence is you. When that recognition happens, then fulfillment arises in the heart. So, expressing all this teaching, Bhagavad Pada wrote the Dakshinamurti-Stava. Later on, Bhagavad Pada's one of the greatest disciples, Acharya, wrote a bhashyam for Vartikam for it also, which is called Manasollasa. That Manasollasa Vartikam. So, from Tiruvannamalai, they started moving. Acharya and group resumed their journey and passing through different lands. They reached Kalahasti, the Vayulinga Kshetra. Here the king Sudhanva rejoined the group. We have not given much importance to this story part. When they were in Sringeri somewhere, this king from Karnataka, he joined this group, Sudhanva. He became a great devotee of Bhagavad Pada. And he was moving about. I don't think the king has any work to do. So he is always going with Sankaracharya. Very often he is attracted to the presence of that Jagat Guru. So he very often comes there and joins their group. So this Sudhanva came there Although only 2 months had elapsed, the king was very eager, as if seeing his guru after a long interval. He prostrated to Acharya with great affection. After worshipping the Lord and Devi at Kalahasti, the guru proceeded towards Seshagiri, Tirupati, and there had the darshan of Tirupati. Acharya praised the Lord with this shloka. It's a riddle shloka. Narayanaya Narakantakaya Purantakaya Purushaya Bhumne Devyai cha tasmai lalitambikayai Sri Kartikeyaya namostu tasmai. Only this much. So from there they started moving towards Kanchipuram. Narayanaya Narakantakaya. Narayana is Narakantaka. Purantakaya, it is Shiva. Purushaya Bhumne. Because this debate about Tirupati Venkatachalapati is always there. It is Shiva, it is Vishnu, it is Devi. All opinions are there. Devyai cha tasmai lalitambikaya. Balaji. They say Balaji means what? It is Bala. Bala Tripura Sundari. Right? So, but naturally Balaji has become the name of men. So now it has become like that. But it really means, because when Ramakrishna's disciple Swami Brahmananda came, he was a great yogi. He was almost like Ramakrishna. So they took him inside Tirupati Venkatachalapati. He had no idea about the deity. So he went inside and had the worship. He will have the darshana of Devata everywhere. So when he came out, he asked, what did you say about the deity? They said, it is Narayana, Venkatachalapati. I don't know. I had the vision of a female deity, he said, as Divine Mother. So like that, opinions are there. So Ramanuja's time, it became Vishnu. There was period when they worshipped the deity as Subramanya. So these kind of changes have always occurred. And so all these are there here. Devyai cha tasyai lalitambikayai Sri Kartikeyaya namostu tasmai. Everything is there. From the exquisitely beautiful Sheshachala, Acharya moved towards Kanchi. Kanchipuram is said to be a spiritual navel of the earth. This is one of the 7 Mokshapuris. So in the south, Kanchipuram is a Mokshapuri, like Dwaraka, Puri, Haridwara, Vishala, that is Badri, then Avantika, Avanti, Ujjain. Like that, Kanchipuram in the south is a Mokshapuri. It is called Mokshapuri. So, they came to Kanchipuram. There are hundreds of divine temples here. So many temples. Kanchi Paramacharya, those who have very closely moved with him, they used to say he will stay in one temple, another temple. We cannot even trace him where he is. There were periods when he was like an Avadhuta, staying here, there. Recently we went there to see that Sarva Tirtha, very huge temple. And around that huge pond, around that pond there are so many temples. And Acharya, Paramacharya stayed there for some time. Just in the step of the pond, they will put a tent and he will stay there. And he will stay in any of these temples around. So, the Trinity, Shakti, Shiva and Vishnu have their abode here as the Divine Mother Kamakshi, Ekamreshwara and Varadaraja Swami. It was then ruled by the Pallava dynasty, who frequently clashed with the Chalukya kings. This happens. You know, our Tiruvannamalai is a war front. Right from Pondicherry to Velu. It is called Tirumunaipadi Nadu. And Tirumunaipadi is war front. And these Chalukyas and what is that? Pallavas. Their horses. We are comparatively living in a very peaceful period in history. Not much war. But otherwise, see Kanchipuram and Tiruvannamalai fight. Tiruvannamalai and Changam fight. And some person will come and say, I am the king. From who? Which place? I am the king of Adiyannamalai. Coming here. All small localities will have a king. All kind of fights will be there. So comparatively, we are in a better period in history. All those people, those fighters, you know, you go to Madurai side, everywhere you will see statues with dagger in their hand, sword, big moustache. With all moustache and beard and big sword. They will be standing everywhere. Idudha enga Swami. Everywhere. So, this fight will be there. So, they were not able to protect Vedic Dharma at that time. As a direct consequence, both Shiva Kanchi and Vishnu Kanchi were in a state of decadence. There is Shiva Kanchi, Vishnu Kanchi. The faith and beliefs of masses also declined as a result of negligence by the king. Although Buddhism was on the wane, Jainism was rather powerful. All these are history. Although Vagisha and Jnana Sambandha propagated the Shaiva Siddhanta, Shiva Bhakti, still more work was needed. When Nandivarma Pallava, the king of Kanchi, heard the Acharya was arriving along with the Chalukya chief Sudanva, he came to receive them with royal escort. Acharya blessed the king but did not accept the invitation to stay in the city. Instead, they stayed at the famous and ancient Ekamravana outside. Even now, if you go to the temple, you can see that place. They will say where Sankaracharya stayed, where Divine Mother herself had performed austerities, tapasya. Seeing Acharya's dispassion and majesty, the king prostrated to him with utmost devotion and said, Lord, please let us know whatever you may need. We will readily fulfill them. You should not have any difficulty for your stay in Kanchipuram. Acharya silently blessed the king. Here, Divine Mother Kamakshi is the presiding deity of Kanchi. That Mukha Panchashati, that Mukha Kavi, he says, Kamakshi moves about in the form of Shiva. Rakachandra Samana Kanti Vadana Nakadhirajastuta Mukanam api kurvati Suradhuni Nikasha Vagvaibhavam Sri Kanchi Nagare Vihara Rasika Shokapahantri Satam Eka Punya Parampara Pashupatehe Akarini Rajate. She is moving about Vihara Rasika Pashupatehe Akarini in the form of Shiva. So even the form of Shiva belongs to her. Shiva is formless. Jnaneshwara, in his Amrita Anubhava, he says, Shiva is formless. So Shakti, Durga, what she did, suppose you go to a house to see the house owner and he is standing there without a dress. Wife will feel ashamed. So she will again, very fast, she will come and give him some dress, put him some dress. Like that, Shiva is standing there without any dress, and Shakti gave her various kind of dress in the form of this world. As Vishwam, as the world. So, this Lord, so Kamakshi temple was also ignored by the general public at that time, and Acharya decided to do some reformation work. See, the story goes that Kamakshi was very angry at that time. She started eating people. Kanchi Ramanacharya says about this in Devatin Kural. So many disasters were there. So, if the path of worship and the idols are not pure, the mind of the seeker will not be established in Sattva Guna. Lord has declared in Gita, Sattvat Sanjayate Jnanam. So Acharya decided to propitiate goddess Kamakshi. The king made all arrangements and all the rites were performed to re-establish Mother Kamakshi in her original place. So there are two categories of Tantra. Tantra worship is not good for everybody. In Saundarya Lahari, Sankaracharya has spoken much about Tantra. Shivananda Lahari, only pure bhakti. That is why I will always recommend Shivananda Lahari more than Saundarya Lahari. But what to do? People study Saundarya Lahari more and they don't understand anything about it. And very less people study Shivananda Lahari. Shivananda Lahari is very beautiful, very melodious. Saundarya Lahari, it is thank God that we don't understand the meaning. So that you can chant it, nothing wrong. If you understand the meaning, that is very difficult. So, certain things, ignorance is bliss. Like, this Jayadeva's Ashtapadi. All these things, very beautiful people sing and dance without knowing the meaning. If you know the meaning, lot of problems are there. So, anyway, so Saundarya Lahari needs Tantra Jnana. So, to purify the Tantra Shastra, Acharya wrote Prapanchasara Tantra. To Swatantram Te Tantram. He says in Saundarya Lahari, Swatantram Te Tantram. So there, Akachatata Payadaihi Saptabhir Varnavargaihi Virachita Mukabhaha. As he says, Sharada is Akachatata Payadaihi Saptabhir Varnavargaihi. With all the Varnavargas, her face, body is made of with Shabda Brahma. She is Shabda Brahmamayi, Charasharamayi, Jyotirmayi. So that Shabda Brahmamayi. So she is being worshipped by Mantra Shastra. You can see this in Trishati. You go to Lalita Trishati, the Panjadashakshari is there. Kakara Rupa Kalyani Kalyana Gunashalini Kalyana Shaila Nilaya Kamaniya Kalavati Kamalakshi Kalmashagni Karuna Amritasagara. Like that Ka, it starts with Ka and thus it goes. All the Bijaksharas are there inside. So this is her body. So that Divine Mother has to be worshipped. If she has to be worshipped in Tantra form, there are Kaula Marga and Samayachara. This Kaula Marga is not for all. So Acharya instructed the Vamachara Kaula is not auspicious. And the Tantra must be practiced in accordance with the Vedas without compromising ethics. Although some of the Tantrics initially argued with Acharya, eventually they conceded to his opinion. What great work! See, to become an Acharya is not that difficult. Just in a stage you teach and go away, that is the safest thing. But you want to do a real work in the world, transform, it's only with the power given by Ishvara it can be done. So, Padmapadacharya, Sureshwara, they all entered, helped Acharya, and Sureshwara told Padmapadacharya, our Acharya knows everything. There is nothing that he does not know. The goddess of knowledge is always at his service. Here Acharya wrote the Prapanchasara Tantra. Acharya made them install a yantra in the Garbhagriha of Kamakshi Devi. Not only that, the 8 Kalis who got out and received the sacrificial offerings made to Kamakshi were bound by mantras and placed in the 8 directions of Sri Yantra within the precincts of the temple. Kamakshi is Parabrahma Mahishi, a term for Mahamaya. She is the one who destroys Kama by her very sight, glance. The Lord who is realized only when Kama is destroyed is Kameshwara. In Trishati it comes. She is called Kameshwara Ardhangini. When desire is turned towards God, it is bhakti or experience of the divine. Then the desires pertaining to the world get destroyed. That is the end of desire. The end of Kama is Kama Koti. Kama Koti means the end of Kama. The zenith, the point where all the desires are annihilated. The word Koti means end. The divinely enticing eyes of Kamakshi captivate the heart of the devotee. A devotee who has seen her dance, who has been enchanted by her, transcends the divine differences of gender and delights in the self. So this is Kanchi Paramacharya's lecture in Daivattin Kural. Acharya has spoken about all these things. In Shiva Kanchi, the temple of Ekamravanam was renovated and homes for Brahmins were constructed on all 4 sides. The divine idol of Varadaraja Swami in Vishnu Kanchi was also in a dilapidated condition due to the unresponsiveness of the king. This temple was also renovated and daily worship based on Vaishnava tradition was established. The misconceptions of the people regarding Advaita were removed when they saw that Acharya, although established in the non-dual Brahman, was compassionately giving equal prominence to all deities and reinstating their worship. Kanchi Paramacharya was also like that. He supported all kind of people, whether they are Vishishtadvaitis, whether they are Dvaita. Sarvabhuta Suhurt. A true Acharya is a Sarvabhuta Suhurt. No hatred towards anybody, no thought that he is separate like that. So there, this Kamakshi Pratishtha was done. Omkara Pancharashukim Upanishad Udyana Keli Kalakanthim Agama Vipina Mayurim Aryam Antar Vibhavaye Gaurim. This Chandas is also Arya. I worship in the heart that Devi who is like the bird in the cage of Omkara. Omkara Panchara Shukim, the nightingale that sings and flies around in the garden of the Upanishads. Upanishad Udyana Keli Kalakanthim Agama Vipina Mayurim, the peacock that dances with its plumage of divinity spread out in the woods of the Agama Shastras. Aryam Antar Vibhavaye Gaurim. So there a debate occurred. It was also a center of learning for long period. Here too a debate occurred in place, a large assembly in which many great scholars participated. The debaters were not only theists, not only astikas, saugatas, kshanika vijnanavadis, and vainashikas. They are all Buddhists. And digambaras and shvetambaras. They are Jains. Digambara means naked. You can see, walking naked. And Kanchipuram, there were Jain centers also. And these Jain Munis, they are all very austere people. So Digambara and Shvetambaras. Shvetambara means those who wear white dress. And Digambara all naked. Somebody told me in Gujarat you can see so many textile shops. Digambara textiles. Very good name. Very suitable name. So, without depending on the Vedas, Acharya enlightened the atheists by his powerful logic. In Mandukya Karika, there is a prakarana called Alata Shanti Prakarana. This Alata Shanti Prakarana, maximum terminology is from Buddhism. Gaudapada Karika. So the very first shloka is almost a replica of what Nagarjuna wrote. Jnanena akashakalpena dharman yo gaganopaman neyabhinnena sambuddhaha tam vande dvipadam varam. Nagarjuna says tam vande vadatam varam. It looks almost same. There they take the same terminology and reveal the difference between Buddhism and Vedanta. Naitad buddhena bhashitam. Many places he says, this Kutastha Chaitanya, this Atma Vastu, Buddha never spoke. He said Anatmavada. So this crystal clear way, this Atma Tattva is revealed in Vedanta only. So this Vada happened, but not only Buddhists and Jains, although Buddhism and Jainism looks like atheism. Actually, we call them Nastikas not because they don't agree, they don't accept God. Nowadays, a Nastika means a person who don't believe in God. But formerly, a person who does not accept the authority of the Vedas are called Nastika. That was the method. Because they don't belong to this Vaidika Parampara. So in that way, they say Buddhism and Jainism. But that is very spiritual religion. Very spiritual religion, deeply spiritual religion, and almost monastic. Here, the Sankhya and Patanjala, they are also almost, there is no God idea there, but they accept the Vedas, the Veda Pramanya. So they come under the Darshanikas. Vaidika Darshanikas. So, the utter Nastika is there who is called Charvaka. Complete Nastika. Charvaka means, a person who speaks sweet tongued person. Charu Vacham. See, we all have some content of Charvaka in us. Although we all act like devotees, too much spirituality, you will say the person is dry. So, to show our love to another person, what will we ask? Nobody, I have never seen anyone ask another person, are you doing japam, dhyana? Is your meditation good? How is your spiritual practice? Somebody comes to your house, first thing you ask this. Nobody will like. when they come here, what will you ask? How do you like to take something? Food or coffee, tea? How is your health? Take care of your health. How affectionate. The person is very affectionate. If you inquire about the inner health, nobody will like, see, very dry person, he didn't even ask about my health. Once we went to Badri, and it was November, very cold. Night it was almost 0 degree. And one old lady who was with us had breathing problem in night. Very difficult. She was struggling for breath. So I went to a well-known person there who is from Kerala and told him she is getting suffocated. So can we get some oxygen help from outside? You know what he said? Swami, this is Mokshapuri, let her go. I will make all arrangements. He said, although what he says is spiritually good, but we will feel like why not give him a good slap. What he said is, this is Mokshapuri. If she leaves her body here, she will attain Vaikuntha. So that doesn't look sweet-tongued. So the sweet tongue is that you should talk about the body. Then the person is very concerned about me. He gives me food, he inquires about my health, offers some medicine, like that. So, this is Charvaka. He says, Rinam krutva ghritam pibet, yavat jivam sukham jivet. As long as you are alive, enjoy life. Somebody tells you, everybody will like that. Enjoy yourself. Very, very good person. Somebody gives you advice in austerity, you will never go to him. So this is Charvaka Siddhanta. So this is actually Nastika Siddhanta, which is based on only body idea and worldly enjoyment. So this Charvaka came to Acharya and told, when alive, one must take care of the body with proper nourishment and exercise. This life alone is true. There is no life hereafter. One who lives comfortably and dies is a liberated one. Very easy Siddhanta. A life starts from the womb and ends in the tomb, says Chinmayana Swami. A travel from womb to the tomb. So, Acharya said, it is all pleasing to hear. But the body is indeed the result of karma. So it lives, courts diseases and dies all according to karma. 3 types of illusions are embedded in it, namely Atmatva Bhranti. First illusion is, I am this body. Second is Gunadhana Bhranti, the illusion that it can always remain healthy by adding something to it. And Doshapanaya Bhranti, the illusion that it is impossible to eliminate all its defects. See, this is not to say that you need not take nourishing food, good food, but this illusion, due to this illusion, people attain sorrow because they are not able to do it. When it proves otherwise, then the person becomes depressed. So a person was tending number of goats, some white and some black. The black goats, which were stronger, snatched away the food of the white goats. and became healthier. The man took the goats that prided themselves as healthier and sacrificed them. This was all that was achieved. Although one remains healthy, death is the result in the end. Disease, old age, etc. cannot be warded off, no matter how much the body is kept well. All material achievements end in death, like the sacrificial goats. Those who do not know the self beyond death are indeed pitiable. So, you should know the self also. You can be healthy. There are Vedic mantras which pray for health. Bhadram karnebhi shrunuyama devaha Bhadram pashyema akshabirya jatraha sthiraihi angaihi. With very healthy, strong body, let me do spiritual practice. The body is kept healthy so that I can transcend it. I can attain jnanam. I can go beyond it. Etam annamayam atmanam upasankramya. Etam pranamayam atmanam upasankramya. Etam manomayam atmanam upasankramya. Etam vijnanamayam atmanam upasankramya. Etam anandamayam atmanam upasankramya. Transcending all the panchakoshas, one has to realize the self. Acharya did not merely defeat them in debate, he also showed them the path to liberation with great compassion. Meanwhile, many Buddhists had converted themselves to Vaishnavism and Jains to Shaivism. Those who accepted the authority of the Vedas could very easily accept the doctrine of self-knowledge as well as Advaitic knowledge. Acharya himself states, Nahi idam, very beautiful Bhashya Vachana, Nahi idam ati gambhiram bhavayathatviyam. This magnificent truth about the knowledge of the self, Nahi idam ati gambhiram bhavayathatviyam mukti nibandhanam, about liberation, agamamantarena utprekshitumapi shakyam. Without the Vedas, a person cannot even infer about these things. Without the help of the agamas, it is impossible for the human intellect to even infer deeply profound and enlightening knowledge. So this was Shankaracharya's Siddhanta. So the holy river Payaswani flows near Kanchi. Bhagavata says, Tamraparni nadi yatra kritamala Payaswini Kaveri cha mahapunya Pratichi cha mahanadi E pibanti jalam tasam manuja manujeshwara Prayo bhaktaha bhavishyanti Vasudeve amalashayaha. On the bank of these rivers, great bhaktas will come. By drinking the water of this river, bhakti will come. Jnanam will flourish there. So many devotees came, some of them, so many scholars came, they all had vada there. Then one scholar came and he said, what you say may be the goal, but Shruti speaks about duality as the path to be followed. You speak about Advaita, but Dvaita is needed for sadhana. Acharya said, duality is the natural ignorance that everyone is endowed with. It is the genetic ignorance. Everyone, jata matra prani buddhi gamyam. Na upadesharham dvaitam. You need nobody to tell you, you are separate from me. The world is separate from me. God is separate. It's all genetically there. You need a teacher to tell you that ekameva advitiyam. Only one exists without the second. So, Acharya said, knowing well the dualistic tendency that is born of ignorance in the minds of the worldly people, Vedas permit action temporarily for the purification of mind. The heart of Shruti is indeed Jnana. Thus, Bhagavad Pada advised the Mimamsakas and many kind of people and some Mimamsakas like Karmakanda, Veda Bhaga, great scholars came from Brahmadesha. On the bank of Tamaraparni, it is Tirunelveli side. Yes. So, among them, Mahadeva, a 7-year-old boy who was the son of a great Mimamsa scholar, attracted the attention of everyone. He replied very clearly to all the questions of Acharya. At the tender age, the boy was seen to have an extremely high intellectual acumen as well as extraordinary scholarship in Shastra Dharmas. He asked Acharya profound questions on the Shastras and self-knowledge. Observing the brilliance of the boy, Acharya very reminiscently asked Chitsuka with a smile, "Hey Vishnu." After so many days, Acharya is calling him like that, "Vishnu, what do you feel when you see this boy?" And Chitsukacharya smiled and said, "Bhagavan, I remember seeing such a boy in Kaladi 25 years ago." Acharya said fondly, "Yes, we also feel as though we are seeing our own earlier form. We feel the same joy that our Guru Charana must have felt at our first meeting." He called Mahadeva to his side. The boy came near and prostrated to Acharya. Patting on his cheek, Acharya asked, "Dear child, what do you want?" To the surprise of everyone present, Mahadeva replied, "Lord, grant me sannyasa. That is rare even for the devas. So grant me that and bless me." Acharya said, "Aha, certainly," and looked at the boy's father. The noble Brahmin agreed without any hesitation. Placing his hands affectionately on the boy's head, Acharya blessed him, saying, "Sarvajño bhava." Later, Acharya assigned the care of the boy to Sureshwaracharya. Mahadeva grew up as Sureshwaracharya's disciple and became well known as a great jnani by the name Sarvajñatmayatindra. See, these stories, when I am telling these stories, there are various research arguments about the factuality of these stories, whether this happened in this period or that period. All these things are there. We are not going into that. As we said, for us, this is a divine episode happening now for our own elevation. So we are seeing Bhagavad Pada, we are seeing Sarvajñatmayatindra, Samkshepa Shariraka Kara. That is what he is called. So, he was blessed by Acharya. This story is told by Kanchi Ramanacharya also. After this, they thus worshipped by all in the divine Kanchi Kshetra, Bhagavad Pada shone forth as the embodiment of omniscience. When Acharya came out of Kamakshi temple, a middle-aged, disfigured man with boils all over his body prostrated to Acharya from a distance. And with the whole body shivering, the person said, "My disease is due to my overindulgence in sensual pleasures. Now I am so distressed. An intense sense of dispassion has entered me. I realize that all enjoyments lead only to misery and destroy life. I do not pray to be cured of this disease. Let this mass of flesh be destroyed in this manner. Lord, please advise me on how to attain peace. I am willing to accept the results of my past actions. I do not want any physical comfort. Please be merciful and show me the way to the ultimate truth." That kind of vairagya, intense vairagya. Acharya was pleased at his dispassion and said with compassion, "You are blessed. There is no greater qualification than dispassion. For jnanam, what do we need? We need vairagya, nothing else. Vairagyanna param sukhasya janakam pashyami vashyatmanah. Tachet shuddhataratma bodha sahitaha swarajya samrajya dukh. In Viveka Chudamani, Acharya says, nothing is so joy-giving, peace-giving like Vairagya. If along with Vairagya the person is also having Atmajnana, knowledge of the self, he will be enthroned, he will be established in the throne of omniscience, self-knowledge. So, here this person fell flat before Bhagavad-pada. Acharya gave him anugraha. He said, you are not this body, nor the senses. You are of the nature of eternal, pure, awake and ever-free consciousness. Nitya, Shuddha, Buddha, Mukta, Swarupa. Do not forget this truth. Reflect on this day and night. Repeatedly, meditate on this till it directly shines within you. Remain in this penance of jnana till all thoughts that arise in your mind are ablaze with the effulgence of Brahman. Then the mind will vanish and pure consciousness will shine forth. You will become free. Forget the body completely. The body for you itself is an ulcer. If it is forgotten, the self that the Shruti speaks of as avarnam, avranam. Vranam means a wound. Bhashyakara translates this as body. Says, for a jnani, that limitation itself is like that. So, Shruti Mata says, Om ityevam dhyayata atmanam swastivah paraya tamasah parastat. Meditate on the self as Om. Remove the darkness of ignorance and attain self-realization. Let your life be auspicious. Although the man's appearance indicated otherwise, seeing his intense dispassion, Acharya decided that he was qualified for Jnanopadesha and directly instructed him on Atmavidya. That blessed one left with divine bliss, his hair standing on end in ecstasy, shedding tears of joy and gratitude. He left Bhagavad-pada, and Acharya's group also started moving towards, from the Dravida Desha, they moved towards north. Passing through several places in Andhra, they entered the Karnataka again, the border. And some very interesting events happened there that we will continue tomorrow. Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala.